Good morning, guys. So this week is actually quite a busy week with 2 client shoots, one sort of demonstration thing going on here in Stockholm, and another live streaming session on Thursday. So I thought I'd make like a sort of vlog or follow along, and maybe I'll jump in with some quick tips and tricks up my sleeves. Let's head into the storage room. Yeah, it takes an eternity to get this one to open, but it's getting there. Alright, so for today's filming session, the client wants to keep it very simple. It's gonna be a sort of a demonstration downtown, tell you a story, and we're only gonna shoot in vertical video for social media. So as much as I want to use this kit with the Signet lenses and stuff like that, it's not gonna work. Alright, so but I have a plan. For this day we're gonna use the Tamron 28 to 75mm because I think it's a great focal length for like running gun situations where you don't really have much time, and the autofocus is great. It works perfectly fine with my Sony a7 IV. A couple of years ago I'd probably say like, ouch, I don't want to do vertical videos. But it's kind of obvious. Today it's relevant, and with the right content and the right briefs you can create a lot of good stuff vertical as well. For this setup you kind of want to hold it like this, and then you want the one to be something like that. For this shoot, this flip out screen is actually pretty nice because then I can tilt it up when I'm looking here, and I have the handle and the tripod is coming along as well. The last thing I'm gonna bring today for this shoot is this one. It's just a beanbag. So when we're out on the field, I can just mount this on top here, lay it down, and just have it hanging around here. And it's in vertical. And it's so much better than a gimbal, because with this I can easily just go down there. I can react to things in a much better way than when I'm using a gimbal. I love gimbals, but I love it for planned shots. And if I don't want the beanbag and just running up, and I'm ready. Filming vertical with professional equipment straight out of the camera instead of filming in horizontal mode and then just cropping into a vertical video, it actually makes a huge difference. So of course I try to figure out the best possible way to mount my cameras for these types of productions when more and more people are asking for the same stuff, vertical videos. So I headed to say a story, and we're a couple of minutes early to be able to mount things up. The news was also there to capture this important topic. People are starting to arrive, and I was just to make sure that no one snaps the camera. But yeah, it looks kind of funny, and sometimes I got quite nervous that the camera rig was quite side heavy when mounted on the tripod. So it changed to a couple of different locations for a couple of interviews with people. So the problem is that there are speakers down there, and the sound, yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of that in the background. So that's the thing that I'm helping most with for the moment. So both me and the client agreed it's better to hear the people in the background, hear those rants in the interviews, because then you hear how important it is to a lot of different people. So today's shoot is over. I kind of forgot how quickly it turns dark in Stockholm in the late October. So some of the interviews got darker, and we didn't bring any additional lights because it's just a couple of quick 20 seconds interviews about what's happening. It's a good one, and client is happy. Time to pack things up. During the event I also managed to get some still photos, and that's one of the main reasons I like this a7 IV rig that I have. It's really easy to switch to photos
with the same camera, and it's not as hugely expensive as the FX3 or FX6, which is more properly video related work. This is more of a hybrid, and it makes me so much more flexible when being out on these types of shoots, where it's just supposed to look good, where I don't need all of those SDI ports, HDMI ports in and out, and blah 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 blah, where you need for other types of productions, like this one, where I got to play with an FX9, which is fun.
Today it's Thursday and we're off to the next gig this week, which is a live streaming gig in central Stockholm as well. It's gonna be fun, and we adjusted the starting time a couple of hours earlier so we can have a test run before the actual thing, which is always nice. So the client for today, it's actually a pretty funny story how I got in contact with them from the first place. These types of gigs are always nice, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and we're finishing quite late, but when you're finished, you know that everything is done and there's nothing to do post-production or things like that, so it's always nice.
So this gig, we were at Berns in central Stockholm, and it was sort of a prize ceremonial dinner type of event where we were supposed to film the nominees. And what's funny with Daniel here is that he always insists on rigging the cameras before you show up.
How's it going?
Så, jo, men det går bra. Måste bara se till så att alla kameror är balanserade tillräckligt.
Nice.
So 3 hours before the event even started, we did a test run.
Good stuff.
And everything worked pretty well, and we were ready to hit it.
How's the feeling? But it's kind of a funny story, right? How we met from the beginning.
Yeah, I sold him a camera on Blocket, which is our trade site for private people. And
Craigslist for Americans.
yeah, shitty stand for cameras, and I think the camera is good. Sony A7S.
Yeah,
It's a good starter camera.
Yeah,
It is. Even though you
it was my second one, and I was still in high school. I
yeah
had no plans on doing anything for real.
yeah.
It was just a funny side thing.
So then I sold
And
you
you were-
that and then a bad stand. It was a good stand.
It was a good one.
It was a good stand, but it was old. I bought it because it looked good.
Yeah. It looks professional. It's big and heavy, and it looks.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, it's in my parents' basement.
Oh, really? Of course. I have so many things in my parents' basement.
Yeah. What is it? 6 years later?
Yeah,
I think it's 6 years ago.
you're here now with 3 cameras,
3 FX9s, and you're dealing with.
and we're still working and
You're
hanging out and shit. That's crazy, you know?
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's really crazy.
So you never know.
Just keep selling stuff and you make contacts.
So this gig was pretty straightforward, and we managed to get it done pretty well. It was just a couple of nice shots tracking the nominees for an award, and it's always fun to play with these types of rigs together with Daniel and the team. All in all, I appreciate Daniel for reaching out. Always a nice guy to work with, and maybe we should have a chat someday on his channel or something. So this was kind of a week as a freelance filmmaker. Next week is completely different, and so the week after that as well, I guess. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. I think I'll do more of these types of vlogs. It felt nice, and you reflect on what you're actually doing a lot better when doing this.